Alright, so I recently rebuilt the Quadrajet on my car, and while it did run a little bit better, it's still leaking out of the top. So, I've decided to replace it with a new intake manifold, carburetor, fuel pump, and all the lines and gaskets onto my '69 Vette. Yeah, pretty tight working space, but we're gonna get it done. So stick around, it's gonna be awesome. So when I take the intake manifold off, I have to have the engine drained of all coolant first. This way it doesn't get all over the place and mix with oil. By the way, I hate coolant. It is messy and stinky and awful. Also, when I remove the intake manifold, I had to remove the distributor. So I want to set the engine to top dead center on cylinder number 1. This way I know that the distributor is going to go back in the correct orientation. So I'm removing the cap here so I can see where the rotor is pointing. The next step is going to be setting the rotor into the right position. So here I'm turning the crank and you can see a little mark on my harmonic balancer, and I'm aligning it. Perfect. Now when I take a look at my rotor, it's pointing in the same direction as the cylinder number 1 wire, and now I can get this carburetor off. Removing the carburetor is actually pretty straightforward. It's just a few bolts and undoing a few connections. But I did run into some kind of funny challenges. Okay, I'll get that out later. So a word on the Quadrajets. People are pretty polarized on these things. I actually don't mind them at all. I had two 87 El Caminos that had them, and they were great. They never gave me any problems. And those cars, pretty heavy, and with the aerodynamics of a brick, and yet I still managed to get like 26 miles per gallon on the highway. But they're not without their fair share of issues, and this was definitely no exception, leaking out of the top. I also had fuel percolation. Alright, so do you think I'm nuts? Should I try to fix it and address that warpage issue? Do you love or hate the Quadrajet? Let me know in the comments. Now, one weird thing is that a previous owner installed an idle stop solenoid in this car, probably because of engine run-on, but there might be something I can use here.
I think this wire is running off of like a 12-volt ignition or 12-volt accessory, which is good because then I could just potentially reuse this. I'm gonna have to validate that, but potentially reuse this for the electric choke. Electric choke would be cool. Anyway, electric choke on the new carburetor. So let's get this guy off. Come on, you. Hey, all right. Carb is off.
So now just removing the coolant lines going into the intake manifold before I move on to the ignition system. So before I take off my distributor, I want to free up a little room, and I'm going to take off the coil first. These wires have definitely seen better days, but I'm probably going to replace them when I upgrade to HEI. By the way, always disconnect the battery when you're working on wires. Okay, coil's out. That's the tack cable. Cool, so to get the distributor out, only thing left to do is to remove the vacuum line and then remove the screw on the distributor hold down. Okay, distributor is out. Oopsies. All right, let's get our coil mounting bracket and condenser off. And now the fun part, I think. I'm going to remove all of these bolts on the intake manifold. I believe there's 12 of them. I'm going to lift this up and see what's inside. Oh, and one last thing, the oil pressure sending unit. And with that out of the way, I think we can finally take this intake manifold off.
Come on. Oh yeah. All right, so I have no idea what awaits me underneath this intake manifold. It's a pretty old motor, so corrosion, gunk, and who knows what could be awaiting me under there. By the way, if you've ever done one of these before, let me know in the comments, what's the worst you've ever seen?
All right, so hopping into this, honestly, I am thrilled with what I see. You can tell that somebody was in here once before. There's a bunch of silicone on the front and rear walls where the intake manifold mates to the block, but that's typical. Anytime that you do an intake manifold, you usually run silicone over there. There's the old gasket that's sitting on top of here still, and I'm going to have to take that off. But look at the channels. Everything is nice and clean. No corrosion, no bits floating around in there. It's just really phenomenal for such an old motor. There's a little bit of extra stuff I need to clean up in here. You can see some silicone that the previous person in there put around the water jackets and exhaust port, but overall, pretty good. So let's clean this thing up. Alright, so with the gaskets out, next thing I want to do is plug all of the ports in the cylinder heads. And I really just want to protect anything that gunk or bits of gasket can fall into. Because once it's in there, if you run the motor, it could really do some damage, and we want to protect all of that stuff. So I'm just using some rags to plug up everything in here. And I'm going to lay one down the center as well, because that's where a lot of that stuff tends to fall. And now the fun part, scraping all the old junk off. I gotta tell you, bending over a hood and doing this is absolute murder on your back, so be sure to take your time, stretch, and all that good stuff if you're ever doing this yourself. And with the gasket scraped off, all we got to do now is clean up all the mating surfaces with a little bit of cleaner, and we'll be ready for new gaskets and a manifold in no time.
All right. So we're just about ready to get the new stuff on. There's just one more thing left, which is the fuel pump. So stay tuned to my next video, and when it's up, you're going to see it right over here.